What's going on there, YouTube? Welcome back to RC Everyday. The MST CMX with the Suzuki Jimny body. I've wanted one of these for a while. I've heard lots of good things about these MST trucks, crawlers. They have developed a good reputation on the market. So my friends over at Banggood have just started carrying these, and they are sponsoring this video. So check out the link in the video description to head on over to Banggood and look around and see what they got. Not saying that's going to be the best price on it. I've found these other places at a more reasonable price, and they are working on that. It's something new. They're just starting to get more hobby grade stuff, but you know, it is what it is. But they are sponsoring this video, and I thank them for that. So yeah, let's take a look at this thing. So again, I don't know a whole lot about these. This one has some stickers added to the box, so there's revisions since they've been released. This one has a 26 turn motor. I thought that said 45. I was reading it upside down. We've got a brushed ESC that looks very similar to the Hobby Wing Quick Run, which I am very familiar with and I actually really like. We've got a decent little 2.4 gigahertz radio. And there's a sticker on the top of the box that says upgrade. It's got a high torque servo that says it's made by Savox, so it's going to be interesting to see if it's noisy. So these are just little crawlers. They're just a little bit smaller, shorter wheelbase. I've been told that these will fit Tamiya CC01 bodies. So like your Jeep Wrangler, your Pajero, the Amigo. Oh, the Amigo. Oh, man. I got Amigo sitting around. So, yeah, this should be on par for the same size as the RC 4-wheel drive TF2 short wheelbase, which we can get down here and compare once we get it out. This one is ready to run, and I'm excited about that because I just want to crawl. It's been raining for a week straight, and I really just want to get out there and play in the mud, and I don't have time to put it together. Let's see, we got CVA front shafts, oil shocks, 4-link front and rear, realistic scale tire, metal C-channel frame. Transmission looks very similar to the old SEX10. Good efficient transmission gear, which it has, majority of them are metal. So, enough talking about it. Let's get this thing opened up. Alright guys, so the body did have a little assembly. You have to put all the scale stuff on. I left the taillights out. It has taillight buckets because you can't really see them. It has stickers over the taillights. And I'm not installing LEDs right now. So let's take a look at the chassis real quick. I love the size of this thing. It is just cool. The suspension and stuff feels really nice. It's got a good rebound once we get a battery and a body on it. I'm hoping the weight really perform. I think it's going to perform well, but my speed controller here was not stuck down. Just came loose off the sticky tape. No big deal. So we got a battery tray. Our receiver is enclosed underneath it. Our steering servo is axle mounted. It is 4-link front and rear. Now everything is plastic. Plastic suspension links, plastic shocks. Everything except for the motor plate and the chassis rails is plastic. It did come with a lot of extra stuff. We got some more body mounts. It came with some more steering horns and spacers for shocks and stuff like that. Came with some tools. Where's one more thing? Oh, it came with the other front bumper that looks like a FJ40 bumper. I thought that was kind of cool. It does extend out a little further. I've got rubber bands here to latch the battery in. Flip it over here. These little axles are nice looking, and this is pretty stout feeling plastic. This isn't cheap stuff like we've seen from some of the budget crawlers and stuff before. It's actually pretty durable. I'd put this on par with the quality of a axial plastic, SEX10 kind of stuff. What else? Thing about these, it's got pretty extreme steering angle. One thing I did notice, there's no foam in the tire, it's just air. So if we threw a hard body on this, I'm not sure how that would hold the weight. We might have to come back and foam the tires. Which I don't know if we can because it appears they are glued on. These aren't beadlock wheels. They are a very nice looking wheel. They look like the old 90s style, but they're all blacked out. And I really like the tire size. The tread pattern stuff's very scale. 30 inch, that's what it says on there. So looking at the back, pinion angles are a little brutal, but doesn't appear to really cause any issue. We'll just have to see how it drives. Plastic rods, plastic rod ends. It's a problem with these, especially like the RC 4-wheel drive Trailfinder 2 short wheelbase I've got. There's just not enough space. So your pinion angles are always going to be bad unless you sacrifice your ground clearance. And that's the route RC 4-wheel drive took on that. Transfer case sticks down so far. And then you do the slightest bit of lift and you're back to this kind of pinion angle. So it'll be interesting to see how that performs. Plastic front steering. Feels good though. It doesn't feel not a whole lot of slop in it. So, digging the chassis. It's laid out like an SCX10. The motor's here in the middle with the transmission. It's all one piece. There's just not a whole lot to it. So let's move over to the body. So if you've been following the channel for a while, you know I'm not a fan of lexan, but they've taken a lot of liberties to try and bring it closer to scale. We've got all this accessories. It's cut front and rear for the bumpers that are chassis mounted. It's got a snorkel. It's got mirrors. It had wipers. And one issue with that is they stuck wiper stickers on over the windshield sticker, and then they give you actual plastic wipers. So I had to peel those stickers, and they left a little bit of residue on the window, but we've got the real plastic ones on there now. It's got the light buckets front and rear. It's a pretty cool little kit. I love these little 4x4s. I'm really a big fan of the new body style Suzuki Jimny. Back when I was a kid over here, they were called Samurai, Suzuki Samurais. We had one, it's like an 88 or something. And they're neat little cars. I don't know if I could actually fit in one in real life to drive it because they are pretty small, but it's pretty dang cool. I love the stance of it. I like how the tires stick out just a little bit. And these are tiny little tires. See a little bit of lexan dust on it from drilling the holes. All the accessories do screw on, even the wipers, which was a very nice touch. Didn't expect you just to glue them to lexan. And other than that, all the stickers and stuff are already on it. It came with extra sheet of stickers with lights and windows and, you know, all the little things, as well as a ton of MST stickers. They had some scale stickers for the windows and stuff like that. The only thing this thing's missing is it needs a big whip antenna on the back, I think. I think I might have one. I think that might look the part. That might be the first mod we do to it. So, again, I really like the way this looks. It feels like a really solid platform. And got a little fake winch guard here on the front. You could squeeze a winch on that bumper. I think I might actually have a 3 Racing one we could throw in there. There's no holes or anything. You'd have to drill holes for it. But it does have the fair lead there to maybe fit it. Now, it did say in instructions to paint the headlight buckets silver and add some stuff over here. I didn't do that. I like the blacked out look. And again, I'm not going to have LEDs in it for a while, probably never. It's just a basic 2.4 gigahertz. It's got minimal adjustments. I believe it is only a 2-channel. It's a little cheapy, but the throttle and stuff feels good. Steering feels decent. Just the case is a little cheap, but I mean, it's ready to run. If you're really into this crawler, you'll swap it over to your main controller and stuff. I've maxed out my saved presets on my Spectrum, so I have to keep using these on rigs like this. The instructions are very clear. If you notice, was ready to run, it still came with a full build instruction. It's got nice blown apart diagrams of the entire chassis. Shows how to tear it apart in case you need to rebuild your axles or something. So I've got body clips. I've got a Lipo charge. I need to double check the ESC is set up for Lipo. And then I get some batteries here in the controller. Get my little 3-cell in, plugged in. Oh Lord. Trim and everything's already set. This may have a little bit too much wheel speed. Oh wow. This thing's gonna be a little rocket. You can definitely tell that's a Savox servo because it's got a good little annoying buzz going on. Holy cow. It's gonna be fast. So yeah, let's go outside and sling some mud apparently, because this is gonna be a lightning fast little mud bogger. Alright guys, this thing is a blast. Where to start? I got it filthy. It's been raining for 2 weeks pretty much straight. I was a little disappointed. I drove out to the lake out by my house, and there's a little trail that I've kind of scouted out that's by the boat ramp. But since the water is up now, the boat ramp was closed, and from what I could see crossing the bridge, all my little rock trails are underwater right now, so that was disappointing. I could only drive it in the yard, and I don't really have any good rocks anymore, so didn't really get to test it rock crawling, but this thing is a blast. It's pretty quick. This is a 3S. If you wanted to do more crawling, you could slow it down a little bit with a 2S or even just a nickel metal battery. But it's a blast to drive. The wheelbase is so short, it turns on a dime with that extra turning radius. It's just a fantastic little truck. So I have to say, out of the box, just box stock, this thing is well fitted. It's perfect. It just steers. The steering servo is fast. It's strong. It doesn't get bound up. It's quick, responsive. It's not too terribly noisy for being a Savox product. It's fun just to rip around on the gravel. You see, I was doing donuts and stuff. I flipped it over a few times. It is a little top heavy, and that short wheelbase, it just whips around real quick. The little tires seem to do fine without foams in them. I think if we added a hard body to it, we'd have to do foams for sure, just to compensate for the extra weight. And I worry that running a hard body on it, that we're going to have to adjust the suspension some, because it's set up to run with a lexan body right out of the box. It's what it comes with, you know. And we throw an extra weight on there, it's going to be a little bit more floppy and lean side to side. So you probably have to stiffen up the springs a little bit. There was a little card in the instruction manual that had part numbers for stiffer springs. But this thing is just a blast to drive. I love these little 4x4s, and it just rips with the cut fenders and stuff. It just looks cool. The stance of it. Nice little details for a lexan body. I can say I am planning on keeping this one around. You're going to see a lot of it on the channel because it is so much fun. I've noticed that the brand CC Hand, if you've seen any of their products, RC4 Drive sells them and stuff like that. They've started making scale bumpers and upgrades for this body. And their products are a little expensive, but they are extremely realistic. So I don't know what route we're going to take with this. I have seen a rear bumper with a tire carrier, which would look pretty sweet. They have a different front bumper. I think they have a couple different rear bumpers. But this thing is awesome. Let's go ahead and pull the body off. And get pretty dirty inside. I think I've actually seen metal inner fenders for this as well from CC Hand, which is might be something we need to do here because it's getting a lot of stuff up in electronics. I don't usually like to get my rigs too wet, but I didn't have a choice today because that's pretty much the only terrain I have is wet. All my little areas are flooded and in bad shape. But that little Lipo, it's a 11.1 volt 3S 1800 milliamp, and that actually came with one of the boats. I think it was a Felinian FTO12 from Banggood. And that little battery is a beast. I've used that in the 8x8, the HGP 801, big, giant, heavy truck. And I still, with that, I get 35-40 minutes of runtime. And I ran it in the rat rod the other day, never charged it through it in here, and it still has plenty of juice. But, yeah, this thing is a beast. 26 turn, I figured it'd be at least a 35 or 45 or something like that. But the gearing on it is spot on. It feels like it has a little bit of overdrive in the front. I'm not sure if that's the case or not. It may just be the short wheelbase. The shock angles, the suspension angles, everything works. It's not too soft. It's not too hard. If next time, I get asked all the time from people on Facebook and Instagram and stuff, what is the best kit to start with? You don't know anything out of the gate. I would say this now. I usually go with Trailfinder 2. Trailfinder 2 is, nice to scale, lots of metal. Leaf springs, the whole 9 yards. It's a great truck for trail truck. This is a little more capable all around. The 4 links, it's good. It'll be a decent crawler. It'll be challenging with the short wheelbase and the small tire. But it's got wheel speed. You can get out there and bash it, Lexan, but it's still got enough scale detail on the Lexan body that I'm actually happy with it. This will be the only Lexan body I run, except for my Tamiya Volkswagen Beetle. But yeah, this thing is a little monster. So I'll quit rambling. Appreciate Banggood for sponsoring this video and getting me one of these to have some fun with, and I really like it. I recommend it. So check them out and keep keep it scale. I'll see you all in the next video.